Yahawashi, Rakakadash, all praise, honor, and glory go to the Most High Yahawah in the name of His Son Yahawashi. And just wanted to come with another one right before I go into the plantation. This is a scripture that we all should know because it talks about how the perpetual hate that the nation of Edom has for Yasharala Israel dates back to when they were brothers out of Rebekah's womb, and Jacob was selected, though the movie had to play out to where he cunningly took advantage of opportunity to be the rightful bearer of the birthright that Yatazak, Isaac, was given to his son Esau. And I say it like that because at the end of the day, that's all it was. The movie had to play out. Jacob was chosen since the beginning of time to be, the rightful owner of that blessing. And that blessing is the eternal life that the Israelites are going to be receiving once all this madness has to happen on this earth. Collapse of the dollar, the final, World War III, the final war, and then the Michael C. Hip, the mark, the beast wanting to mark you, be one of his, and then, ultimately Yahawashi returning with his myriad of angels, what you call UFOs, in the fathership, and along with all the other chariots, to finish off the work that's going to be have to be done after this nuclear war that's going to be happening soon. And I just wanted to touch bases on that, along with just recounting the reason why he has this hate in his heart, and how he's subtle and very sneaky and very patient, because he's had it in his heart for this long, and he's continued to be in his heart, and it's not going to go away. The so-called white man has hatred towards the nation of Israel, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, and Latinos, and it dates back all the way back to this time. And if you're in the know, you'll understand these things, and people are starting to realize it. They're starting to realize that the powers that be, the elites of this country, and the elites over there in the land of Israeli, which we know as Amalek, they're starting to realize and open up their eyes to these things. Yet a lot of people still don't grasp it. And it's the majority of you so-called African American, Native Americans, and Latinos, and you speculative Israelites, because there's a lot of Israelites that look like other nations, and they're against the Israelites. They're like so-called white men, so-called Chinese men, Asian, Japanese, Arabs. They're against this truth, and they could be Israelites themselves. But I wanted to touch bases. We'll just read. I'm going to get some precepts on verse 45. It says, "And Esau hated Yaquab, Jacob, because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob." It says, "And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Yaquab, Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee them from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day?" And Rebekah said to Yatazak, "I am weary of my life because of the daughters of..." I'm sorry. So that's just the point right there. I don't want to go deeper into that. I just wanted to touch bases on until we get to 45, because ultimately it's coming to a time where we're going to have to hide ourselves from Esau. The brothers, and I'm talking about the men of the Lord. It's coming a time when we're not going to be on the street corners anymore. We're not going to be doing the lessons. They're going to set up different sanctions and laws where that's going to be prohibited and we got to move wise. Now this particular time, Esau maybe forgot about it a little bit, but this time he's not going to forget. He's going all in this time. He's going all in to try to take out the nation of Yahawah, Israel, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Latinos. So, at this time we have to, heed to Rebecca's advice, when that happens, and we got to make sure that we stay, wise in our thinking and the way we move, not be afraid to retreat, not out of fear of what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, whatever happens is what happens, but just out of wisdom. You don't just stand. If you see if you're standing, you're looking up and you see a refrigerator coming down to drop on your head, you just don't just stand there. You try to jump out the way. If you're in a burning building, you don't just stay there. You try to get out. So in the same way, we got to have that same mindset once these things really kick in. And I just want to get a couple of precepts. Let's see what we can get. I think the Cambridge is going to be the same. Verse 45. It's the same. I'm just going to go to verse 45. The message just might be straightforward with that one. To make sure that we be wise and tarry a while for somewhere else. Message Slovakia. I'm just going to see what it brings out. It's like there's really nothing there in the precepts from this app on verse 45. So the message just might be straight and clear, Here we go. In Genesis 27:35 says, but he said, your brother came deceitfully, and he has taken away your blessing. And Yatazak, fueled the fire of Esau by saying these things, and it's burned on Esau's heart until this day, the nation of Edom. That's why they don't like to see you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Latinos in any positions of power, any positions where we're over them. They believe this is their land. They believe that they have a right to have us in bondage and slavery. They believe they should be first. And it's just carried on for since that time. Genesis 26:3 says, sojourn in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. Sorry. Is that 26? Yeah. For to you and to your offspring, and I will give all these lands, and I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. And this is the promise that the Most High Yahawah gave over to Yatazak, and it really transferred over to the Quab. And he's always doing that where he takes his people from one place, and it's going to be more spiritual in this last pilgrimage we're going to do. Yet, because the whole earth has to be conquered by Yahawashi Masa and be set on the throne of David. But in the old times, he would have them go from one place to another and grant them a better living and more land and more riches, if they obeyed and if they trusted in the Most High Yahawah. And that's what we got to do in this time. We got to trust in them, that even though we may have to get off the street corners and go into hiding, and so to speak, it's going to be for the good of our spiritual conquest to receive the kingdom. Praying of that number. Genesis 27:12 says, perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him, and bring a curse upon myself and not a blessing. And you know, at the end of the day, Jacob, you know, when he was giving that advice from Rebecca, you know, he doubted a little bit too, because he didn't understand, you know, why he would go in there and try to trick his father, you know. But it wasn't really a trick. It was just the movie of the Most High Yahawah playing out. And you know, the spirit was on Rebecca for her to give her son advice that helped, you know, change the course of this world. This is 27:19. Said, Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Now sit up and eat of the game, and your soul, that your soul may bless me. And you know, when you read this, and a lot of the Edomites read this, they still want to hold on to that they were deceitfully tricked by Jacob. But we know that the Most High has his plans, and it says in other scriptures that he hated Esau from the birth, and he loved Jacob from the birth. You know, when they were even in the womb. So this was just destiny happening, and the Most High brought it out. And I already read 35. Just got one more app. I think I'm pretty much done. So, you know, I just wanted to bring out, you know, some, you know, once again, you know, back to the basics of why we're in the situation we're in, what we may have to do in wisdom to, you know, you know, prolong ourselves on this earth if we're not chosen to be, you know, being a martyr or put in chains or, you know, whatever. You know, if you're chosen to participate in seeing these things from your own home or in the place where he puts you, you're of the holy elect, then, you know, you got to move in wisdom, and you got to listen and pay attention to what the scriptures are saying to you. So hopefully, you know, it's edifying to someone. With that, just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Shem Yahawashi, Shem Kakadash, double honors to all the apostles, the elders, teachers, preachers, priests, bishops that came before me, taught me this truth through the videos, starting with the apostles and elders, the great millstone, and Shalawam, peace be to you, to the holy elect, which I pray I'm on the number of. To next time, Yahawah willing.